Good day, beautiful people. I'm going to call this one the Sunday sermon. I'm not a religious man. All religion is below me. Religions are based upon myself. Every story of every holy man is based upon myself. From Jesus to Muhammad, Buddha to Zoroaster, all of them. And as you go throughout my life and as things become more clear to you, you will see the reasons, because they're all based upon the prophecies left behind by the creator Kal-El and by the first angel Anai. Giving you understanding, there is a young boy called Roger Antonsen. Is Roger Antonsen, yeah. Now 4 years ago he did a TED talk in Oslo about mathematics being the basis to understanding. Now if you go back to my blogs, there is a reason for it all, the video blog, there's a reason for it all, and samurai, and the real meaning behind hagakure and reducing tinnitus. You'll see that I included aspects of Einstein and the theory of relativity in those videos. Now, in his video, Roger Antonsen in TED Talks is teaching those Masons on the aspects of the literatures via the mathematics of Euclid, Archimedes, Einstein, Copernicus, Kepler, the sciences of Newton, Michael Faraday, Linus, even that guy who stole the invention called the light bulb, Edison, whatever his name was. All these sciences, as I've shown throughout different videos, have been used to manage man, the electric box effect, to break children of their spirits, break the nervous system, as shown in the copper box in the middle of Elephant and Castle in London. Now, the reason why he's done this video teaching the Masons is because the Masons at the moment are losing the war they began upon my people, all of you Morenos on earth. And they realize this. So he's done this video to teach those Masons and how they get back to doing the things, creating the patterns around us, those who surround, so that they may manage us through their soliloquies and their diminishing behavior. When I say diminishing behavior, I mean they do things around us which make us react to their movements. And every time you react to the movement, you diminish your senses, because it's not an internally created movement, it's an externally generated reaction. And thus you become weaker, i.e. diminished in the process. Now, Aquinas is the one who put it into words. He goes to never stop surrounding to diminish their senses. Aquinas put it into specific terms, but it's developed all throughout the literatures. Now mathematics, how mathematics has been used is to bring you to the illusionary world, which is civil society that you live in today. Because many of you are learning mathematics in class, in schools, and they've made you believe it's a system of expression of things around you on earth, like engineering, like nature, like music, as that guy Roger Antonsen in the video does too, but he's an idiot. Yet it's not. Yes, mathematics can be applied in these ways, but how it's been applied in the literatures is not about this. It's about them showing each other how to surround you. Before I continue, in a much earlier piece in a written part of Healing Humanity, I put a perceptual development exercise where I've asked you to start off on very quiet streets and build up to noisier streets, where you open up your peripheral vision by spreading out your hands and moving them back until you get to the point where you can see both your hands with having a central vision. And I've said keep this centered state as you walk down the street, keeping everything in, not reacting to anything around you. Now the reason why I've given you this perceptual development exercise, not because it builds up the optic nerve, the optic canal, the occipital lobe, the nervous system in itself, the limbic region, reducing amygdala reactions through development of cortical connections. Not because it does just this, but because I wanted you to see these orchestrations around you that have been built in society via mathematic demonstrations in all the literatures. As I've said in the samurai and there is a reason for it all, you'll see how Einstein has been applied. Now, if you go back to Archimedes and Euclid, theory of spheres, the spheres are us, and the things that go on around the spheres is what led to Einstein creating the theory of relativity, what led to Newton creating the three laws, which he never created. As I've said in earlier pieces, he plagiarized and wrote in a way that they could use to manage us, create their behavior. These ratios of behavior, these spatial awarenesses that they've created for themselves have been built into the plays, into all the literature that is Shakespeare, into the tragedies and the comedies of Aeschylus, Euripides, Sophocles, Menander. It's about positioning of people. You don't have to believe me, as I said of everything else. Take a look for yourself. I am writing this all out clearly in the books. So this is not just going to be all of it, but I'm doing this so that you see that there are people around you who are orchestrating their behavior still to manage you, even though I'm doing all this, and their days are numbered. Their days have always been numbered, but that number is certain now. Now, if you go to Roger Atkinson's video, you'll see that he's explaining about changing the perception of things via mathematics. And it's one of the things I've done with you on them 2 videos. I've let you see how Einstein was used to manage you so you can change your perception of the world around you. And that perceptual development exercise I gave in the written piece of Healing Humanity very early on specifically assists you in doing so, because it develops your nervous system so you can see more, be aware more, and process it more via the reticular formation in the brain, i.e. the eye of Ra as represented by the Osirians. It's plagiarized by them, as I've written in earlier pieces also. Go back to Healing Humanity, my beautiful people. Look at the perceptual development exercises and apply them to yourself. I have gone around the earth and I have actually seen people applying these exercises, which has made me happy knowing to see that people are actually applying the direction I've given them on the streets of their countries. I'm sure that if you put into practice the colours I've given you, the meanings and the negation of them, how you apply them to the engineering of flags, each one of you will by now who has done so will have seen the reasons for certain behaviour within your own lands, within your own cities. And if your city has a separate flag to the country, you can apply it to the city flag as well, your country flag. So you can see how different areas in the country are managed a little bit different under the guiding macro relationship that is the country's flag. And you'll see that it explains every behaviour in all your countries today and in the past. You'll see this for yourself. You see everything I'm telling you is spot on. Now with the tinnitus, I'm not the first person to tell you of tinnitus. The first person to be telling you of tinnitus was Bob Marley. There's a natural mystic blowing through the air. If you listen carefully now, you will hear. It could be the first trumpet, might as well be the last. Many more will have to suffer. Many more will have to die. Don't ask me why. Things are not the way they used to be. One and all got to face reality now. Now he was telling you about tinnitus, that trumpet, that ringing in the air that nobody hears but makes people fall. But he didn't know how to explain it. He could just feel it. I've explained it to you and I've given you a way to reduce its symptoms within your body so you do not die by its attack. All this has come from mathematics too, wavelet theory 101, which I've shown you. So in this Sunday sermon, even though religion is not, it's way below me, I want you to take away with you the fact that as you develop your senses, as your perception of the world around you changes, the civil and social world that you live in, and you see the truth of it, how you're being managed in a diminishing of your senses to break you from your spirit by disambiguating your nervous system so they can tell you where you're going to be. As you come to see this for the truth it is, you may become again, overcome again, be more in every moment than the one before again, utilizing the breath as you do so, diaphragm. This is to save all your lives. Now there's a last piece on this to end this Sunday sermon, and it's to do with that Heng Yi of the European Shaolin Foundation, European Shaolin Temple. Now in the last few years since they've brought him in, that they've been using him, which is why I told him to stop. He showed himself to be the idiot he is. They're using him to come against me in Europe, not realizing I'm on a global basis. He has been trying to bring you to movements of the body to develop the tendons, develop the muscles, and yet he has not clearly shown you how to utilize the breath. He has been talking to you about how breath is an exchange of things. And yes, it is, but it's not in the manner he says. There's a cyclic process to life. We breathe in oxygen. We breathe out carbon dioxide. The oxygen is given to us by all the flora upon Earth. They live by the carbon dioxide by which we breathe. The interdependence of our relationship with each other. This is the exchanging of things. It's about breathing in life, breathing out non-life. That is rubbish, because you breathe in life and you breathe out life also, because you give life to the trees, you give life to yourself in the process of in and out. He's chatting a whole lot of crap. And I'd like you to see this. You stop following these false ones. For some reason, I've been speaking for 30 odd years on exactly the same things I'm speaking of now. And I've always known it's a lead time. It takes a while for people to see that which they do not see. You have to build a picture, which is why I went down the road of painting this picture for you by perceptual dots, so you could all see the truth of the world around you and become one again as a people and remove these skullduggerous ones who are managing you off the earth. Yet, in the process, you're still following false ones, those set up around you to lead you astray, keep you divided, going down lots of roads of activity which are fruitless, and thus expending your energy unsapiently and becoming frustrated in the process and giving up, which many of you have done. It's been a process to frustrate many for hundreds of years. And I'm saying to you now, I am the only being on earth speaking in the manner that I speak. I am the only being on earth who is speaking the same thing for more than 3 decades against all powers that be on the earth, because they are fake. The only one. And you are now all coming together and seeing the truth of my words, the truth of the terms I put out there for you. Stop following these other fake ones, because everything they teach you will take you nowhere. To develop the tendons, first you have to be able to use the breath. To develop the body, first you have to be developing the nervous system. The body is used via the nervous system, and you can only develop the nervous system via the breath and diaphragmatic breathing. If you can't do that, then you can't do any of the things that this idiot at the European Shaolin temple is showing you. So do the things I've been showing you first. The breathing development, the perceptual development exercises, the Qigong exercise and the grounding, because it's grounding in the earth which does this. And if you watch his video, he has no ground. There isn't a single person in any of his videos, including himself, and he's supposed to be a master, that has a ground, because they are not connected to the earth. You cannot be teaching somebody how to develop these things if you yourself are not grounded. My beautiful people, come back to truth once again. Realizing your own truth once again, because truth is of the first cause. In doing so, you may realize light, because light arises from truth. And as you do so, you may once again find love, because love is a coming together of truth and light. For the Creator is the first being out of truth and light, and He, creating every one of us, gave us that connection also. So if you have no truth, you cannot find light. And if you do not have light because you live in truth, you never can find love. These people who tell you that love is a thing of chemicals are chatting their rubbish. Love is energetic. The body has a electrical chemical process managing to the energy, but love is energy first. The Creator does not have a physical body, yet He is love. Energy is the primary factor to love, and you cannot have that energy in yourself unless you absorb the light of Ra. And the biochemical reactions, the electrical chemical reactions of the body are facilitating that on a physical basis. I forgot. Mathematics, back to that again. To show you how they've developed illusion around you and how love is energy. First, 3D, 4D, 5D, these dimensional aspects which are brought to you by maths, they all became possible because somebody developed this presentation of 3D space on paper. Now, space that we all live in, which I'm in now, cannot be represented on a 2D plane, paper, because it's a 2D plane. So in doing so, they created these 3 axes, X, Y, Z. And they created these 3 axes, they said 3 dimensions. Now, it's not 3 dimensions, just 1 dimension. Everything is one dimension. From the beginning, the first cause, to now, it's one dimension. It's just different states of energy. So most of you can't see the energy around you. You can't see the energy existing in all living things because you are of a too low energy state yourself. Yet, once you start developing energy via the breath, you'll begin to see things in a different light. You'll begin to see light in a different way. And as you do so, you'll begin to understand how energy is love and how love is energy. And how there is no such thing as a fourth dimensional being or a fifth dimensional being, as some of these misguided ones on the internet like to speak about. Oh, I'm a seventh dimensional being, da 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 da. It's all rubbish. They're all misguided. They're falling into the illusion as given to them through these 3D representations in maths. Everything is one, or there would not be oneness. The Sunday sermon. Short, but not too short. Just enough so you may, on this Domingo, this Sunday, become more because you are learning more. And know that everything I do, regardless of the danger that I bring myself to in doing so, is done because this is your birthright, beautiful people. Take it with both hands. Utilize it. Truth, light.